We start with breaking news. We have just learned IMPD's highest-ranking members were involved in a pursuit on the northwest side. A large crowd has been at the intersection of Michigan Road and 62nd Street for several hours after the man involved in that pursuit was later shot and killed by an officer. Police have not confirmed whether a Facebook Live video viewed and shared thousands of times shows the shooting as it happened. But RTV6's Cameron Riddle just learned new information from police. He joins us live. Cameron, what can you tell us?
Well, good evening. Right now, there is still high emotion and literal unrest in the streets of Indianapolis tonight. Down that way, you can see in the dark, against the lights of police cars, are what is left of a very large crowd that assembled over a number of hours here tonight, just south of 62nd and Michigan Road. Right now, chants at police officers who are on the other side of their cars, some of them in riot gear with helmets and armed, but they have not crossed over that line. Right now, they're speaking over the loudspeaker, one of the first times we've heard them speak over the loudspeaker tonight. This is all because of what appears to have happened on a Facebook Live video, which police tonight have now acknowledged, saying that they know that there is some connection to a Facebook Live video where the person in that video appears to be running from police, at which point he gets out of the car and tells people watching him that he is at 62nd and Michigan Road. That's how people knew exactly where to go and meet police at this scene that has been here since 6 o'clock. As we told you at the top of the show, we have now learned in the past 20 minutes that the highest ranking members of the police force were the two people who first spotted the suspect driving erratically on I-65 near 30th Street. The two people who saw them were first IMPD Deputy Chief Kendall Adams, who was driving on 65. Immediately in another car behind him was IMPD Chief Randall Taylor. They both started a brief pursuit trying to catch up with the person driving that car who they said was driving erratically. Almost hit another number of cars. But as they got to 56th Street and Lafayette Road, the suspect got off of the interstate and they shut their lights off and discontinued that pursuit. From there, they just tailed him, kept track of where he was going at what they call a reasonable speed. Another police officer from the Northwest District spotted that car pull into the back of a business here at 62nd and Michigan. That's the piece of video which we are not showing you here tonight because there are still a lot of unanswered questions, but it has gone viral. It shows, appears to show the person in the car get out of the car. There is some confrontation with police officers, at which point a number of loud noises, which appear to be shots, were fired, and then the video falls to the ground. You don't hear anything from the suspect after that. We did ask police about that video. This is what they told us and what it has to do with this crime scene tonight.
We were made aware that there was a video that was posted on Facebook. Although the officers and the detectives have done their due diligence in preserving that evidence through proper legal channels, and if it's associated, there's information on it that's appropriate for the investigation.
Tonight, we have learned that the officer involved in this, the officer that fired his weapon, is a black male. Police tell us the suspect is also a black male. What police tell us is they say, to the best of their knowledge, as they are getting this preliminary information right now, is that the suspect fired a shot at the police officers. Police officers returned fire. They say somewhere in there, they did not confirm where, but they said the officer's taser was also deployed. They couldn't give us exactly how that rundown went, but they said shots were fired from both a black male suspect and a black male officer, as well as a taser fired by that same black male officer. Again, want to point out that the two officers, Chief Taylor and Deputy Chief Adams, are not the officers who fired their weapons, but they are the officers who first spotted the suspect. Back out here live, you can see the protesters upset, Indianapolis residents yelling at the police officers with bullhorns. This crowd we're seeing right now is significantly smaller. In the last 20 minutes, it has dispersed, but at one time, there were at least 100 people here chanting at police, who again are now in riot gear and for the most part have not moved. Again, there are a lot of unanswered questions in this story, but we are working to figure out exactly all of the dots and connect them for you. As as you can see, this is a story that is not going to go away, because as the people out here in the middle of Michigan Road tonight have said, they want justice, they want answers, they want transparency. Reporting live tonight, I'm Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
A deadly night in Indianapolis. 2 young men shot and killed by IMPD officers, and a pregnant woman hit and killed by an IMPD officer. Tonight, the department is facing many questions about what happened. Thanks for joining us here at 5 o'clock on RTV6. I'm Mark Mullins reporting from a temporary studio in my home.
And I'm Amanda Starantino in the RTV6 studio. Let's take you through a quick timeline of the 3 deadly events that occurred in just about 7 hours. Investigators say an officer exchanged gunfire with a 21-year-old man around 6:15 last night in the 6200 block of Michigan Road. Around 9:45 p.m., an IMPD officer hit a pregnant woman walking near I-465 and Harding Street. And then around 1:30 this morning, police shot and killed a man they say began firing at them with a rifle near Township Line and 79th Street. The shooting of the 21-year-old man on Michigan Road drew outrage and protest today outside the city county building and at the shooting scene. The man who died is identified as Drayshawn Reed. This is an image from the video that Reed reportedly posted to Facebook as events unfolded last night. RTV6 has viewed the video, but at this time we are choosing not to air it as we are still lacking vital information about all the events as they happened. But we do know this from IMPD. They say around 6 o'clock last night, a deputy chief spotted Reed driving recklessly, nearly hitting other vehicles northbound on I-65 at 30th Street. Chief Taylor was right behind the deputy chief, and the two began pursuing Reed, who sped off. Once other marked vehicles joined the pursuit, the deputy chief and Taylor disengaged. At about 6:10, the chase was terminated by a sergeant. 6 minutes later, an officer saw Reed pull behind a business in the 6200 block of Michigan Road. They say he jumped out, disobeyed commands to stop. The officer used his taser. Then the two exchanged gunfire. Reed died at the scene. We have team coverage tonight, including reaction from IMPD, the man's family, and protesters. We start with RTV6's Stephanie Wade.
No justice, no peace. Those are some of the phrases that protesters are chanting behind me. Quite a large crowd gathered outside of the city county building in downtown Indianapolis after a man was killed by IMPD following a police chase last night.
I ain't got no respect for whoever did it. I have no respect. I have hate in my heart for him. Hate. If he would have just locked my brother up, okay then, you feel me? He was wrong. Lock him up. But you shot my brother 16, 17 times.
The family of Sean Reed devastated. Protesters upset over what they saw on Facebook Live Wednesday evening. Reed live streamed the entire incident and the final moments leading up to his death. What began as a police pursuit around 6 p.m., officers say the suspect was seen driving recklessly on I-65 near 30th Street. IMPD Police Chief Randall Taylor was actually one of the officers who first spotted the driver. Another officer from the Northwest District then saw the car once he got off the interstate and pursued the suspect for some time before Reed pulled over at 62nd and Michigan and began running. In the video, you hear a buzzing sound like a taser, followed by several gunshots. Then the man falls to the ground.
It's just tragic. I just ain't got no respect for the law system here. It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's been going on for too long, and it need to change. Somebody need to put a stop to it, because I mean, just don't kill innocent people like that.
IMPD tells RTV6 shots were fired from both the suspect and the black male police officer. Chief Taylor saying he's heartbroken over the life lost tonight. And at this point, he has no reason to believe the officer didn't act appropriately, but is willing to wait and see how the investigation plays out.
I understand where you're coming from. I understand concerns. I would hope that you allow us to run the investigation. Understand that everything that you may see on social media, or everything you may hear on social media may not be accurate.
Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
And the shooting is being fully investigated. Chief Taylor promised to be fair and transparent.
Meanwhile, a second protest also happening today, this one back near the scene of the shooting. RTV6's Megan Sanctorum was there. She shares the message from the 6200 block of Michigan Road.
This protest started with just a couple of people on this side of Michigan Road, but within hours it's grown to this. You can see dozens of people have blocked the intersection here at 62nd and Michigan, calling for answers. These are the people who say they came out to take a stand and share their message with IMPD, saying they don't think the shooting was justified. Among those in the crowd was a man named Sean Smith. He says he was good friends with Dre'Shawn Reed. He shared this photo with us and tells us he watched the whole thing unfold on Facebook Live. He says he's not sure why Reed decided to run from officers, but he doesn't think it should have ended this way.
But if an officer spotted him, they should have used, other techniques such as commands. Put your hands up, on the ground, those sort of things. There were more officers that was in their pursuit and out here, and I feel like that there was more manpower to subdue him and bring him to justice if that's what they were intending to do.
But IMPD tells a different story. They say there was an exchange of gunfire between Reed and officers. People here today say they don't believe that.
I'm infuriated by this because I feel like this happened to my son or my brother. You know what I mean? So I'm so steamed. I couldn't sleep last night. I have the right to be a dumb kid and make a stupid decision without dying.
We need answers. We need answers.
Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
Again, RTV6 is not airing the video that has angered so many of the protesters because we are still unclear of the events that led up to the shooting. As we learn additional information, we will continue to reevaluate the video. Our primary focus here is that we have all the facts and information and are fair to all involved. The Marion County prosecutor is calling for an independent prosecutor to investigate Wednesday's deadly shooting of Dre'Shawn Reed by an IMPD officer after he led police on a chase. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett is also asking the FBI and U.S. Attorney to monitor the investigation. Tonight, RTV6's Stephanie Wade speaks one-on-one with Reed's family and gives us a glimpse into his life.
It was right here where 21-year-old Sean Reed's life came to an end. People watching it all play out on Facebook Live. It's something his family won't be able to forget.
He was talking to me on the live, and he like, sis, I'm sorry. Because I'm like, brother, what are you doing? We can't think for them.
Those were Jasmine Reed's final moments with her younger brother, recording himself live as he led police on a chase on Indy's northwest side, originally catching IMPD's attention for what they call reckless driving. Eventually, Reed got out of his car and ran. Police say then exchanging gunfire with an officer who later shot and killed him.
I knew my brother thought the situation was just gonna go differently. I know he did. I know my brother didn't think they was gonna shoot him down like that. He was scared.
Sean as he went by, but Dre to his family was the life of the party. His sister saying he was always smiling.
He went to there for us to do good. He went to help fight, protect, and serve like they were supposed to protect and serve my brother.
We have confirmed with the United States Air Force that he served as an airman first class for 9 months. They say Reed did not serve a full recruitment contract, but can't share why under the Privacy Act.
He was definitely not a bad person, I promise. He was scared just like anybody else. He's young, he has goals. He knew the generation we got going on now. My brother was trying to get away from it.
His family admitting
the chase was wrong. My brother was wrong for doing the chase. That's right, but my brother, he definitely did not deserve to be shot like that.
Saying they could have visited him in jail, but this way, they'll never speak to him again.
He can't call his mother. He can't call our dad.
Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
In the Facebook Live video, Reed mentions he didn't want to go back to jail. A public record search shows that he was facing criminal charges in Marion County involving drug possession and driving while suspended. And out of Texas, Reed has a misdemeanor warrant for unlawfully carrying a weapon. To be clear, RTV6 has also requested the names of the officers involved in the pursuit and the shooting, as well as their personnel records. We are waiting for IMPD's response, and we'll bring that information to you as soon as we have it.
Surveillance obtained by Call 6 Investigates is one piece of a complicated puzzle. It gives us a new and brief look at the moment after a police chase turned into a foot chase that ended in 21-year-old Dre'Jon Reed being shot and killed by a Metro police officer. Call 6 Chief Investigator Rafael Sanchez talked to attorneys and Reed's mother, who believe an independent investigation is the only way to uncover the truth.
As the police chase ended, the surveillance video shows Dre'Jon Reed then in a foot pursuit with Metro Police. Reed is seen running with a T-shirt in his left hand and 2 cell phones in his right hand, based on his Facebook live stream, which kept on going. Officer DeJure Mercer, whose face we're blocking until Metro Police releases his department picture, runs behind the 21-year-old.
There are witnesses, and there are eyewitnesses, and eyewitness testimony is very powerful evidence as to what happened. Of course, the officer who did the shooting is going to say that Dre'Jon Reed that day shot at him, because he knows that the use of force, the use of deadly force, was not authorized, and he's going to be in trouble. I would even go ahead and say that the use of the taser was too much for Mr. Reed. He did not pose a threat.
And that's not how Metro Police sees it. They attempted to stop the foot chase by tasing Reed. That did not work. They say that Reed shot at them before he was killed in an exchange of gunfire. The series of events from May the 6th, now the focus of a state police investigation at the request of a special prosecutor.
Are you confident that this special prosecutor will be able to do her job to get you the answers that you need, but the public needs?
I feel that she'll give and do her job. Her choice is to go with ISP. Do not want IMPD looking at anything.
Reed's mother is still hoping the U.S. Department of Justice will step in.
The system is not set up for people for the police to police themselves. And that doesn't mean that we stop fighting. That doesn't mean that we stop working towards that. But the way it exists now, and especially without federal oversight, without that independent voice, it's going to be extremely difficult.
So are you confident in Ms. Curry? Will be able to do her job?
I believe so, you know. If she looks at the evidence, I think the outcome should be clear.
Working for you in Indianapolis, Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
Breaking news you will only see here on RTV6. We have more exclusive details on the shooting death of Dre'Jon Reed.
Reed's shooting back on May 6th set off days of protests here in our city.
This morning, Call 6 Investigates has new information in a complicated case that has strained the relationship between the public and police.
The police chase involving Dre'Jon Reed led to a foot chase on May the 6th. As Officer DeJure Mercer ran after him, Dre'Jon's Facebook live stream did not stop. The police use of a taser to stop the 21-year-old did not work. Metro Police say that Reed shot a weapon twice. Call 6 has learned that Officer Mercer fired his gun more than 10 times. Metro Police report a gun was found by Reed's body. 2 casings from that weapon were recovered. Call 6 Investigates has learned that the gun in question matches the description of the weapon seen in Dre'Jon's front waistband during the Facebook live stream. Dre'Jon's legal team claims this surveillance video RTV6 showed last week is evidence that Dre'Jon was not holding a gun in his hands as he ran. Instead, Reed's lawyers say he was holding a T-shirt and 2 cell phones. Based on that, they contend that Dre'Jon did not fire at Officer Mercer. The casings from the weapon found near Reed's body were inputted into a national law enforcement database system known as NIBIN. It stands for National Integrated Ballistics Information Network. It's run by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, better known as the ATF. Information from the casings that are processed are shared with local and state law enforcement to help connect the sources of gun-related violence and crimes. Call 6 Investigates has learned that Metro Police was alerted and that the casings from the weapon in Reed's possession match casings found somewhere else where damage from bullets were found and reported.
And this morning, we don't know where or when those other casings that were found that are connected to the weapon recovered by Reed's body, when they were found and who was behind the gun at the time. As for the officer firing more than 10 times, that could be part of his training. That will be up to the investigation to determine whether the shooting, though, was justified or not. And this morning, Lauren, still so many unanswered questions. We'll keep working on this story.
It has been 3 months since Dre'Jon Reed was shot and killed by IMPD officer DeJour Mercer. And while there are a number of angles and possibilities of what could have happened on the night of May 6th, the only thing that is clear 15 weeks later is that this case is complicated.
Police action shootings are highly scrutinized by the media, the involved law enforcement agency, and by the citizens of the community, especially in light of national media coverage of so many police-citizen confrontations, some of which have resulted in the death of citizens.
Special Prosecutor Rosemary Corey stood on the steps of the State House this afternoon, taking no questions, but saying she has taken every step she could to ensure a thorough investigation, impartial to everything except the facts at hand. She says all parties involved deserve no less. But even after looking at just the facts and not announcing a conclusion, she believes it is best for a grand jury to decide what comes next.
This is a societal issue, a community issue, with many interests and impassioned advocates. But it is the facts presented disproportionately to community members that will determine if there is probable cause to believe that a crime has been committed. I trust the members of our community to do just that.
Indy 10 Black Lives Matter member Kyra J. says the decision from the special prosecutor today could mean there is more to the story than what the public has already been told.
I think it says that IMPD spoke too soon when they came out with that first statement of that night when Dre'Jon was killed, and I think they're hiding a lot of facts. And I think the prosecutor is probably seeing that now.
In Indianapolis, Cameron Riddle, WRTV.
New at 11, family members speak after a grand jury declined to indict an IMPD officer in a deadly shooting. We've been following the decision in the Dre'Jon Reed case since the news at 5 when the special prosecutor made the announcement.
An IMPD officer shot and killed Reed during a chase on the north side back in May. Again, the grand jury declined to indict the officer, citing insufficient evidence. We have team coverage tonight on how that decision was reached and how the city and community are reacting. We start with WRTV's Cornelius Hawker, live in downtown Indianapolis. Cornelius, Dre'Jon Reed's sister spoke tonight.
She did, Mark, and as you know and probably expected, she was very upset with the decision to not charge the officer who shot and killed her brother, Dre'Jon. Community members, some of them are also upset as well, and right now it is pretty quiet, but earlier today, protesters were out here making their voices heard. After gathering at Monument Park, the group walked throughout downtown, stopping traffic at some of the major intersections. Dre'Jon Reed's sister spoke to WRTV during the demonstration. She shared her reaction to the grand jury's decision and a message for those who are speaking out in her brother's name.
There was no justice served. My brother is not resting well. There's no way. So now we got to go on every day. I got to have my son. We got to go on every day with life. My brother can't, see his nephew coming into this world. He can't enjoy his niece anymore, his mother, his father, his other two sisters. I mean, to the community, just keep fighting for my brother, your family, everybody.
Now, despite some concerns from downtown business owners, the demonstrations did remain peaceful. Mark?
Now, Cornelius, you did talk to some of the demonstrators, and even though this case is over, are there any other plans for demonstrations in the future? Have you heard any future plans?
Yeah, I did talk to some of the people that were out here, and they plan to be back out here again tomorrow. So, of course, we're going to be staying on top of this story and giving you all the information that we have whenever they're out here. And I want to comment on something. You know, people were blocking the intersections around here, but police weren't really interfering. You know, they were probably at most a block away, maybe a block and a half away, you know, trying to keep the peace, make sure things went smoothly. But yeah, they didn't interfere with the protesters who were marching around, which I thought was surprising, but welcomed by many. Mark?
All right, our Cornelius Hawker live for us tonight downtown, who was in the middle of the demonstrations tonight. Thank you, Cornelius.